In this video, we're unboxing Thomas's, the prototypes and factory errors. And also this James. We're also going to build a massive layout with the trains we bought and later make our own story out of it. James here is my favorite character, and this James is special for 3 reasons. It's stung by a literal bee, the dome is gold, and this James can't let his steam out. Oh no, I'm burning, help. Oh I love Thomas, and to get inspired, let's start out by watching the show. Thomas is just a kid show.
I don't believe that. I think that's baloney. I think that's a large pile of chocolate.
Edward got me wondering, why did Doug say
Edward is the only one who can keep Bill and Ben in order?
What is Edward's secret? So I watched a couple more episodes and this is what I believe happened. I could be wrong, but let's look at Boko first. In this episode, James really dislikes Boko for some reason.
James didn't like being told what to do by a diesel.
I didn't understand why, but then I realized it's because Boko is all talk and gossip and zero action to support his words whatsoever.
I remember the first time I met those two, laughed Boko. They nearly made my eyes pop out.
I realized Edward, on the other hand, doesn't really tell people what to do, but instead leads through action and results that even got Bill and Ben to work. I'm gonna take some notes now. In the TV show, there were exactly 7 unique locations and 70-ish different cuts. We'll do something similar and build 7 unique locations inside this 2 table, and 1 table will have an abstract version of Soder Island, and the other is going to be this massive euphoric place. Yeah, I actually don't know what I'm doing.
I am actually unfortunately not joking.
This is going to be a challenge, and I have a challenge for you guys. Can you find these 3 men throughout the video? In order to connect the 2 tables, we're going to have to work around these 2 connecting tracks. You know, I really enjoyed the roundhouse set, Napper Station, and the turntable scene, so I say I'll use those 3 for the Soder Island. Let's build it up. This should be a piece of cake until I realize we don't even have enough 3.5 curve track. If we're going to get this done by this week, we need our 3.5 curve tracks fast. We need to call for some help. I searched in Facebook Marketplace and saw trains, tracks, and sellers. Don't buy stuff if you can't find a nice seller. Sold me these tracks, and while we wait for the tracks to come, let's unbox what trains we got. Well, my friends, we bought all of these trains. Thomas trains. That was better. The first thing that caught my eyes were these 3 types of boxes. Cat Funk box, Yellow box, and the Bob's the Builder box. These were all learning curve error boxes, and all of them came from the TFI factory. In the back, we have the package sample approval sheet, and this has the item numbers, factory name, name of the train, approval date, and the approval signature from Marvin, Penny, John, Lily, and Funny. There's no way that's a real name. What's interesting is the remark section. These boxes have different notes for each box. I'll just leave this here so you guys can read. Just kidding, I'm gonna ask for some help. Hole too many, 1 is enough, hook too small. I see the holes on the bottom. I couldn't understand what the 1 is enough means. I feel like it has to do with the ref number, which also confuses me because some say 0, some are 1, and there's also a 2. And hook too small. I feel like this has a wider hook, not smaller, but I don't know. Next we have the blister pack cover. I don't know what a blister pack is. So I did the next best thing and googled what it is, and oh, I'm dumb. So basically a blister box is this Thomas box. I examined the box and I saw this round circle on the corner. Were they referring to potential stress points that can cause holes? Next, bottom not even, not flush. So I do think they are referring to the slant. So I pulled out my other Billy box, and what do you know? It's still slanted. Then I found a box made 3 months later, and it did in fact have a flat bottom. The suction should be neat. I think they were referring to the glues on the edges because you are able to see these air bubbles. And deco unit, that's not funny. One unique thing about the trains that came with the boxes are that none of them had coats on the bottom. Ferdinand here is unfinished. This is the only RSS model made around 2013 and uses plastic chassis. Last time we talked about Gator, the one that had red wheels and Hugo graphics. This is a regular Gator with green wheels, and it has 3 parallel indented lines on both sides. That makes me think, did they want to do something with the design? And these sticker marks are really bothering me, so I'm gonna try and clean this up. Step 1, get a lighter fluid. Step 2, set this on fire. Absolutely not. Use a small swab and gently rub it on the sticky area and sha-la-la. This is Luke, that has a Stanley chassis. Based on the smaller face, this is a TLE 2016 or 2017 model. This is Bash, a twin to Dash. I'm pretty bashed. I'ma dash and smash you down the trash. Sorry. This Bash has darker wheels, no date, and a lot of components are unfinished. In my custom engines, Norman body diesel was planned but never came out. It's basically Norman minus the unibrows, and we have the blue and red. Silver, purple, green were also planned released, and we also got this Herald. We talked about this Herald a few months ago, and although the bottom says 2012, this is actually a 2016 TLE model. This is a new Herald we got. The dimensions of the Herald are actually identical until I realized attachments for the bottoms are longer, so they machined the wood according to that, and the nails on top of the propellers are different, making it easier to spin. Gold magnets. These are international variant talking railway box, and guys, I'm planning on doing a full review on the series with the unreleased Mighty Mac and Doug, so I won't go too deep into it. I almost forgot about this paint box Drake and Manor Thomas. Besides from the packaging, it's the same. Thomas Wood Percy. The main thing that stands out with this Percy is the red wheels. Comparing the graphics, it looks like the sides are all the same. They also didn't stamp the top. There's also no name printed on the chassis. 2022 Thomas Wooden Railway is one of the few trains that I thought had good proportions compared to the prop models. So far we have one Thomas and two Percys, and what's very interesting is some of these Percys have grid marks on them. I wonder if that was to help get their proportions right. This Percy also had a test code on instead of the MK code. This Percy has a lot of unpainted parts and black wheels, and this Percy has more of an olive green wheels and dome is black, and this Thomas has black wheels and unpainted parts. Guys, the tracks are finally here, and we can finally finish our layouts. I wish you guys were here to build this layout with me. Building this layout was so relaxing, and it truly felt like I was reliving my childhood. I think we're ready for our story, so let's jump right into it. The island of Sodor was a bustling place full of engines working hard to keep the railways running smoothly. One day, James the Red Engine was feeling restless. He longed for adventures and a chance to pursue his dreams. I feel like there's more to it than just working at Sodor Island. What's the matter, James? Oh, it's nothing, just feeling a bit frustrated, I suppose. James couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to life than just pulling freight cars and coaches up and down the tracks. He yearned to break free and explore the world beyond Sodor. Later that day, James was tasked with pulling a load of cargo to the dock. James thought to himself, maybe this is my chance to break free. I can get away while no one's looking. James made a bold decision. He decided to break away from the tracks and headed towards the open sea. I'll show everyone that I'm not just a regular engine. I can do far better than this. As James chugged towards the dock, he saw a diesel in the distance. James, what are you doing? This isn't your route. You're going to get into trouble. What's the matter? Why are you so worried? Do you think you could really survive one day without Sodor Island? I can guarantee you, you're not going to make it. You're not used to being out of your comfort zone, man. James sensed that something was off. He realized that the diesel was trying to hold him back from exploring the world beyond Sodor. Yo, are you trying to hold me back, man? You know what? Forget it. I'm going to leave. Don't call me ever again. James thought to himself, I'll show everyone they're wrong. I'm not just a regular engine. As James chugged towards the dock, he felt a sense of excitement and guilt. But as he approached the harbor, he saw a large bucket filled with crabs. James, surprised, said, "What are those?" The bucket was full of crabs, all trying to crawl out and escape. Just then, Percy rolled up beside James. James, what are you doing here? This is not your usual route. James didn't listen to Percy's warning. Instead, he watched as the crabs in the bucket tried to climb out, only to be pulled back by the others. Why are they trying to escape? James, it's called the crab mentality. When one crab tries to escape, the others will pull it back down, sometimes even killing it out of fear and insecurity of being left behind. He thought to himself. That is like me. James, it's natural to feel afraid of change. But to achieve your dreams and become successful, you must have the courage to break free from the crab mentality. We engines do this as well. We sometimes feel threatened by success or potential success of others, and instead of working together and supporting each other, we would sometimes drag each other down by giving hundreds of reasons why something won't work or gossiping behind your back. By practicing humility, individuals can avoid this destructive mentality and instead focus on lifting each other up to achieve greater success and fulfillment. You know what? You're right, Percy. I won't let my fears hold me back anymore. I'll take the risk and see where it leads me. Thank you for this. I really needed this. James steamed away from the harbor feeling empowered and excited about the possibilities that lay ahead. I may not know what's coming. I may fumble and fall, but I'm ready for whatever comes my way. And with that, James left the bucket of crabs behind and embarked on a thrilling adventure, determined to achieve his dreams.